Hi, I'm Teddy Burriss, your sales navigator and LinkedIn strategist, and I want to share this experience that I had with you so that you understand how you should not be using LinkedIn as a business tool. This is all about failures that can destroy your brand and create missed opportunities because you're using LinkedIn wrong or you're letting others use LinkedIn wrong on your behalf. So I got this message on January 20th from a CEO of a company. I went and looked at this CEO's profile, and I know that they're the CEO of this organization. And they said, I took your course on Skillshare and was very impressed. Love to invite you to come and deliver a similar training to the entrepreneurs in my networking group. Sounds interesting. Now, this person sent me their booking and asked me to schedule time with them. That booking was an hour long. I couldn't do that. But I was still intrigued, so I responded back. I'd be happy to put together a program for your networking group. I can't schedule an hour, but there's my 30 minutes I can do. And I said, but please answer these basic questions for me first. And I needed these questions answered so I can be prepared for the conversation. So I sent that message out. And this person responds back, done for Thursday. Thank you. And I repeated, I needed these basic questions answered. And I never got those answered. But I got the calendar invite, and the calendar invite did not include the name of the CEO. It came from info at their company and it included two other names, but it didn't include the name of the CEO, and that raised flags for me. So I sent another message back to them on LinkedIn and said, I need these questions answered. And I never got a response to the second time. I actually got the email address, sent an email to info and an email to the CEO because I've connected with them on LinkedIn or to her, and I figured out what I thought was the email address of the other two people, and so I sent it out to all of them and said I need these questions answered. Never got them answered. On the time that we agreed, this person showed up, but it's not the CEO. I asked him where the CEO was. He said she will not be there. I'm a little taken back by that. And then I said, but I messaged the CEO and invited them to this conversation, and that person said yes. And he laughed. He said, oh, you weren't talking with the CEO. You were talking with me because I manage her account. He laughingly said, oh man, you weren't talking to the CEO. You were talking to me because I manage her account and all her messaging. Really? Now, I get it. CEOs have people help them with their accounts all the time, but this person did not want to hide that after the fact. So I expressed my displeasure as politely as I could. And I said, look, I invited her to the call. She replied that she would be there. She said she'd taken my Skillshare course. And it turns out I wasn't talking to her at all. Now, by the way, in the conversation, he said, oh, she didn't take your Skillshare class. I looked at it. Even more lies? I bit my tongue, but I clearly said this is a horrible way to start a business conversation, let alone any type of relationship for business. He continued on to talk with me as if my expectations and displeasure was not a big deal. And he started a journey. He's kicked back as if he was ready to start pitching me his story, and I wasn't going to have it. Then, within a few seconds later, this other person shows up. Still no CEO. He said, when I expressed to him my displeasure, he says, oh, let's not worry about the messaging problems. Let's move on and talk about what we do. I was even more livid. He didn't care about my feelings that this person was smoke and mirror me pretending to be the CEO and engaging with me and then laughs about it, I continued to express more displeasure. And I said to him that I think that this meeting is over. And I hit the delete button. I hit the end meeting button. I'd had enough. Because neither one of them cared that their smoke and mirrors was appalling to me. Is using a legitimate CEO's account to attract business conversations acceptable? If you're using that smoke and mirror, pretending to be them, and then laughing off when the other person is appalled at what they're doing. What would you have done in that situation? Now, if you want to know who the players are and who the company is, and you know me, message me, I'll tell you. I don't want you to get snookered into this chaos. And I am really not a fan of the marketing of that company. I'm interested to see if that CEO is ever going to raise her hand and maybe have a conversation with me about the mistake that happened. Be real on LinkedIn. No smoke and mirrors.